Epictetus once remarked, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." I realized the first thing I needed was clarity. Each morning, before the world could make demands on me, I asked myself, who do I want to be today? Was it a caring son, a dedicated employee, or just someone who listened more? This simple act gave my days purpose. On the subject of mornings, Marcus Aurelius would often contemplate on the privilege of life. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive. With this thought, I started practicing gratitude. The aroma of my freshly brewed coffee, the chirping of the birds outside, or even a message from an old friend. These were all blessings I had often overlooked. Embracing the Stoic love for nature became a pivotal part of my routine. Every morning, I tried to connect with the world around me, whether through a brisk walk in the park or simply tending to my small balcony garden. The morning dew on the leaves, the crisp air, they served as reminders of the world's wonders. Journaling followed next. Seneca's writings often had this contemplative, introspective quality, and he advocated for moments of self-reflection. My journal became a haven for my thoughts, anxieties, and dreams, a place where I could converse with myself. Action, as Stoicism teaches us, is equally vital. Each morning I chose one task, one thing that I would achieve that day. It might be something as simple as fixing a leaky faucet or as challenging as mending a strained relationship, but I committed to it. One frosty morning, Marcus Aurelius stood overlooking the Danube. The chilling wind brought with it whispers of doubts and the weight of the impending battle against the Germanic tribes. The odds were heavily stacked against the Romans, but Marcus wasn't a leader swayed by odds. Drawing from the teachings of Stoicism, he reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." As the battle raged on, it wasn't just the might of the Roman legions that made a difference, but the Stoic principles that Marcus imbibed and instilled in his men. When his commanders would come to him, overwhelmed by the unpredictability of the Germanic tribes or the vastness of the Parthian Empire, Marcus would calmly state, "Objective judgment, now at this very moment. Unselfish action, now at this very moment. Willing acceptance, now at this very moment, of all external events. That's all you need." But Marcus's application of Stoicism wasn't limited to the battlefield. During the outbreak of the Antonine Plague, a pandemic that devastated the Roman Empire, Marcus's Stoicism once again took center stage. While the empire crumbled under the weight of disease, fear, and despair, Marcus remained a beacon of hope. He believed that pain is neither unbearable nor unending, as long as one remembers its limits and doesn't exaggerate it in one's imagination. Facing mornings with resilience. The dawn often carries with it a mixed bag of emotions. Sometimes it's the excitement for a new day, and at other times it's the weight of yesterday's problems. The morning is a delicate bridge between the past and the future, and Stoicism offers a strong foundation for navigating it. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, would often write to himself in the morning, reminding himself of the challenges the day might bring. His words in Meditations are testament to this. "Today you will meet the ungrateful, the aggressive, the treacherous. You can't let them throw you off your path." So, when you wake up with lingering worries or fresh anxieties, acceptance. Recognize and accept the nature of the problem. Instead of immediately going into a reactive mode, take a few deep breaths and accept that challenges are part and parcel of life. As Epictetus emphasized, it's not the events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Reframe the perspective. Ask yourself if the problem will matter in a week, a month, or a year. Often, we amplify the magnitude of our issues. Viewing them from a larger perspective can reduce their perceived size. Remember Seneca's wisdom, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Control the controllables. Focus on what's within your sphere of control. You can't change a missed deadline from yesterday, but you can work efficiently today. You can't undo a harsh word spoken, but you can choose to speak with kindness now. This Stoic morning routine did more than just shape my day. It shaped my life. It provided clarity, instilled gratitude, encouraged action, and fostered connections. And as you go about crafting your own morning routines, remember the essence of Stoicism. It's not just about enduring life, but about living it fully, with purpose and vigor. If you're inspired by this journey and wish to dive deeper into such stories and insights, consider subscribe to this channel for great content created by us. Afternoons. For Marcus Aurelius, the emperor and Stoic philosopher, the afternoon was a time of profound reflection. As the clock ticked towards what promised to be one of the fiercest battles of his reign, Marcus retreated into the stillness of his tent, not to strategize, but to center himself. He took a moment, closing his eyes, listening to the distant sounds of clinking armor and neighing horses, taking a deep breath of the arid air. This was an hour when most commanders would be overwhelmed by stress or succumb to the pressure. But Marcus drew upon the teachings of Stoicism. He whispered to himself a principle that had always been his guide. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. As his generals rushed in, bearing news of the advancing enemy, their faces marked by concern and uncertainty, Marcus's calm was unshakable. His demeanor, an embodiment of the Stoic principle of tranquility in the face of adversity, instilled a renewed sense of purpose and courage in his men. He reminded them, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." When the battle horn sounded, signaling the commencement of the afternoon face-off, Marcus mounted his steed, not with the arrogance of a powerful emperor, but with the humility and determination of a Stoic warrior. Each move he made on the battlefield wasn't driven by ego or the desire for conquest, but by a sense of duty and the Stoic understanding of accepting whatever outcome nature had in store. As the dust settled and the afternoon shadows lengthened, the Romans emerged victorious. But the true triumph was not over the external enemy. It was over the internal battles of doubt, fear, and anxiety. Marcus, addressing his weary yet elated troops, shared a simple yet profound insight: our life is what our thoughts make it. Tackling daytime dilemmas with Stoicism. As daylight stretches, the shadows of our dilemmas often lengthen. The din of daily life brings with it new challenges and unexpected turmoils. Stoicism, with its pragmatic approach, offers us a compass to navigate through these turbulent waters. Stoic pause. The world rushes around us, a blur of events and emotions. In this whirlwind, the Stoic pause is our sanctuary. It's more than just a brief halt. It's a recalibration of our thoughts. Marcus Aurelius frequently emphasized the importance of responding over reacting. By taking this pause, we grant ourselves the gift of perspective. We allow our rational mind to dissect the situation, filter out the emotional noise, and lead with wisdom. Remember his counsel: reacting to events of the world in the right way is freedom. This freedom isn't just from external events, but from the chaos of our own minds. Seek the lesson. Life isn't about avoiding challenges, but growing through them. Every hardship we face is a lesson in disguise. It might teach us patience when confronted with delays, resilience when faced with disappointments, or empathy when witnessing another's struggle. Marcus Aurelius, during his reign, faced wars, betrayals, and personal losses. Yet he saw these not as misfortunes, but as opportunities to grow, to learn, and to emerge stronger. His philosophy, even in the harshest of adversities, seek the silver lining, for life's roughest storms often bring its greatest lessons. Engage in evening reflection. As daylight wanes and the world quiets, there's a profound moment of stillness, a perfect time for introspection. The Stoics believed that the journey of self-improvement didn't end when the sun set, it merely took a different form. Evaluate your day. not with the aim to chastise yourself, but to understand and learn. Which moments did you handle well? Which could have been approached differently? By dissecting our actions and responses, we pave the way for personal growth. It's not about dwelling on past mistakes, but preparing for future triumphs. As the evening shadows lengthened across Rome, Seneca found himself amid a different kind of battle, not one of swords and shields, but of wits and wills. Rome was a cauldron of politics, betrayal, and intrigue. As an advisor to the erratic Emperor Nero, Seneca's position was precarious, to say the least. Each evening brought its own challenges, slanderous whispers, conspiracies in the shadows, and the constant threat of falling out of favor. One particular evening, news reached Seneca of a plot to discredit him, masterminded by rivals envious of his influence on Nero. As he sat in his private chamber, surrounded by scrolls and dimly lit oil lamps, the weight of the world seemed to press on his shoulders. The prospect of disgrace, or worse, execution, loomed large. However, instead of succumbing to fear or anger, Seneca sought solace in the principles of Stoicism. He remembered a phrase he himself had once written: "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Instead of imagining the worst, he took a deep breath, centering himself, acknowledging his emotions, but not becoming a slave to them. In the quiet of his chamber, Seneca penned a letter, addressing the rumors and defending his honor. But more than a simple defense, it was a masterclass in Stoic philosophy. He wrote of the transient nature of life, the futility of seeking external validation, and the true nature of honor, which lay not in titles or positions, but in one's character and actions. That night, as Seneca faced one of his most trying moments, he wasn't alone. He had the teachings of Stoicism to guide him. And as dawn broke, news spread across Rome of Seneca's profound letter. Not only had he successfully defended his position, but he'd also given Rome a lesson in dignity, grace, and the power of Stoic philosophy. The evening battles in Rome were seldom won with swords. They were won in the mind, with resilience, wisdom, and an unwavering commitment to one's principles. And that night, as so many nights before, Stoicism was Seneca's most trusted ally. The evening brings with it a peculiar quietude. As the shadows merge with the night, our minds, fatigued from the day's events, often tend to wander into the depths of introspection. While the day holds its distractions, the night can be a breeding ground for ruminations, especially on problems that we've encountered. Here's how Stoicism guides us through these nighttime reflections. The Stoic Sanctuary. The night can amplify our concerns, making molehills appear as mountains. The Stoic practice of setting a sanctuary, a peaceful mental space, becomes essential. This is where we can retreat, devoid of external influences. Epictetus emphasized that it's not the events, but our judgments about them that disturb us. In this sanctuary, we give ourselves the room to challenge these judgments, dissect them, and reframe our perspectives. Journaling with judgment. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations is a testament to the power of evening reflections. But it's not merely about pouring thoughts onto paper, it's a structured analysis. Break down the issue. What about it troubles you? Is it within your control? If yes, plan actionable steps. If no, practice the Stoic acceptance, recognizing that ruminating on uncontrollable aspects is futile. Acceptance and release. One of the pillars of Stoicism is understanding what's within our control and what isn't. The evening might bring with it worries about tomorrow or regrets about today. Remind yourself of the words of Epictetus. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Accept the day for what it was. Release what you cannot change, and prepare your mind for the coming dawn. Meditative moments. Stoics understood the value of meditation, not necessarily in its modern form, but as moments of deep thought. Use the silence of the night to meditate on Stoic principles. Contemplate the transient nature of life, the importance of virtues, or the serenity that comes from internal harmony. This mental exercise not only grounds you, but also provides clarity. Nightly affirmations, before succumbing to sleep, affirm the lessons and principles of Stoicism. Tell yourself, I am not disturbed by events, but by my perception of events. By planting these seeds of wisdom at night, you allow them to root deeply, influencing your thoughts and actions the next day. As Seneca once said, the mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. So in the stillness of the night, find your peace, ground yourself in the present, and rest with the reassurance that you're equipped to face whatever tomorrow brings. Every time you look in the mirror, do you realize the immense potential staring back at you? It's easy to forget, especially when the weight of the world seems to press down, casting shadows of doubt and fear. But beneath those layers, beneath the scars and the stories, lies a power so formidable that the universe itself seems to bend at its whim. There was a time in your life, perhaps a fleeting moment, when you felt invincible, where every dream was just a heartbeat away. Maybe it was when you took your first steps, or perhaps when you learned to ride a bike. Remember that sensation? That feeling as if the wind itself was pushing you forward, propelling you into a future of limitless possibilities. Now life has its way of piling on burdens, doesn't it? Financial pressures, relationships that sap your spirit, mistakes that seem insurmountable. It's like walking through a thick fog, each step heavier than the last, making those moments of invincibility seem like distant fantasies. But here's the secret, that power, that boundless energy that once made you feel you could touch the stars, it's still there, it never left. It's been quietly waiting, biding its time, ready for the moment you choose to reclaim it. Change is never easy. It requires courage, persistence, and an unwavering belief in oneself. But it starts with a single step, a mere decision. A decision to remember who you truly are, to shrug off the chains that have held you back, and to once again embrace that childlike wonder and determination. So the next time you feel lost, defeated, or just plain exhausted, pause, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and remember the power that courses through your veins. Recognize that within you lies an unstoppable force, ready to shape the world in the image of your dreams. Because you, my friend, have all the power in the world to change your life for the better. And the universe? It's just waiting for you to realize it. In the words of Seneca, it's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Stoicism reminds us that life is fleeting, and that the power to lead a fulfilling, resilient life lies within us. By embracing its principles, we can navigate life's storms with grace and emerge stronger. It's not just a philosophy, it's a way of life that has the potential to transform each one of us, shaping our reactions, our perspectives, and our destinies. If you found value in today's story and wish to journey deeper into the world of Stoicism with us, do consider subscribing and ringing that notification bell. Here's to a life of wisdom, courage, and tranquility. Until next time, remember, the best fortress is within you. Fortress is within you. Fortress is within you.